Hey guys and girls, it's Philip McKernan. Hope you guys are well wherever in the world you are. I just wanted to share a I suppose, a little video, a little note about hospitality and the fact that it's not dead in America. That's for sure. We're in Charleston, in Carolina. Haven't been here before, first time. And it's interesting when I look back in life. I always have this idea where I follow people rather than product. In other words, people actually, to me, define a country. People in an organization define a product more than the product itself. And when it comes to places I like or places I'm drawn to, it's also around people as well. So, for example, when myself and my wife were considering moving from Canada, I remember I was doing an event down in where was I? I was in somewhere in I think it was California, and I flew up to Boulder to spend one night in Boulder to decide whether it's the place we're going to move to. And we really didn't know anybody living in Boulder itself. So we didn't really have any context. And I stayed in a little hotel in the center of Boulder. I think it was in January. In fact, it was in January, I think January, February. So it wasn't actually the nicest in terms of climate. And I remember looking around and thinking the place was nice, etc. And then the following day, on the way to the airport, I went to this coffee shop called Boxcar Coffee. And I remember standing next to this gentleman. I just said, listen, do you mind me asking you, what do you think of Boulder as a place to live? I'm thinking of moving here with my family. And he just explained that traffic had gotten really bad and everything else. And he said, but that's in my 25 years here. He said, but honestly, he said, it's a great place to live and I'd highly recommend it. And off he walked. And I'm standing there waiting for my coffee, my Americano or whatever it was. And the next minute he comes back up and he said, listen, I'm over here with my wife. We're just chatting in the last minute or two how difficult a decision it must be. He said, I can't remember whether he said I own or I run a restaurant in town. He said, why don't you come over after lunch, have lunch on me. Myself and my wife will sit down with a map and we'll go through the whole area and explain all the good schools and whatever it was. And I just looked at him and I said, you know what, first of all, thank you. Second is I can't do that because I'm heading to the airport. But actually three, the fact that you came back over and offered that tells me everything I need to know about Boulder. So thank you. And the reason I share this, I think sometimes it's the simple things. I'd like to think that I'm a somewhat caring individual and I see people with a map, whether it's in Boulder or otherwise, I'll always stop and ask them, are they okay? Do they need directions, etc. And we arrived here this morning. I'm doing some private coaching calls in between. My family are walking around the city. And in a space of about 3 hours, we had an elderly lady stop and ask us on the streets, were we okay? Did we need some directions? We had a gentleman who spotted us in a coffee shop. And as we came out of the coffee shop, he was coming out of a restaurant and he says, what was the coffee like? Or what was the food like? And we said it was great. He said, you guys from Ireland? We stopped. He said, I'd love to host you guys in one of my restaurants. He owns 7 restaurants in the city. And he said, that would be on me, just because I love Ireland and you guys seem okay and all that kind of stuff. I come in here to the Bennett Hotel, which is, I don't know anything about it, except it's just one of the most beautiful hotels. You can actually see it here. And I sit here, I asked them, is it okay if I sit here and do some calls? It's a little bit noisy now, but it was a lot quieter earlier on. They said, no problem, whatever. Gave me the wireless. I ordered a bottle of still water, and it was like a branded bottle of water, and I go to pay, and I'm assuming it's going to be $10 or whatever for the water. And the guy just said, that's okay, it's on us. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe I look disheveled, or maybe they feel sorry for me or something, I don't know. But absolutely extraordinary, and people saying hello to you on the streets, and it's just amazing. But the reason for the video is just sometimes I'm finding more and more Americans are becoming a little bit more, just concerned about the state of the country. This is not a political video, but it's just to let you know on a very very basic level that hospitality is alive and well, particularly in Charleston. Never been here before. I don't have a horse in this race, but the hospitality we've received in a relatively big city has been extraordinary, and that is my experience in many cities around the United States. So I just wanted to share that rather than just keeping it to myself. I think what we have is a tendency to air our frustrations with things, and sometimes we're not fast enough to share some of the good things and the nice things that we receive. And certainly I'll be back to Charleston, and if any of you ever live here or plan to be here, it really is. I'm sure it's got its challenges as well, but we've just had an extraordinary time here. So anyway, I hope you guys are well wherever in the world you are, and you're being treated as well as I have been today, and my family have been today in Charleston. Bye.